A big part of what you will see in 7th grade math are powers and exponents. We'll see them in problems that involve order of operations, and we'll learn exponent rules this year, and we will also see them when we start to talk about the Pythagorean theorem towards the end of the year. So it's important for us to understand what a power is, and a power has two parts to it, noted by these pink arrows right here. A power is made up of a base, which in this case is the number 3, and then it's also made up of this little number that is called an exponent. And this power is actually referring to the entire thing. So 3 to the 8th power, that's what is usually referred to as a power. Now, sometimes people call up here this exponent power because we would say 3 to the 8th power. And so those two words, power and exponent, often are used interchangeably. So what this expression means is 3 multiplied by itself a total of 8 times. A power is a product formed by repeated multiplication of the same base. So what this looks like is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And to actually come up with this answer, I would have you use a calculator. This would be a very large number. In fact, much, much larger than I would ever have you do by hand. But what we will do with this type of work is to write a product using an exponent. So in this problem, I'm not asking you to do 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, but I am asking you to write it using an exponent. So the base would be 5 because that's what's being repeatedly multiplied. And then the exponent is going to be how many times did I multiply that number 5? I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So that's 5 to the 6th power. 5 to the 6th power. And here I've shown a variable instead of a number for a base. My base is the letter x. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, so that is x to the 4th power. Again, over here, I'm not asking you to do this multiplication, and here you can't do this multiplication because we don't know what x is. We don't know what that variable is representing. Now here we are being asked to evaluate the expression when x is 4 and y is 0.2. So every place that I see a variable, I will write a bubble, bubble to the 2nd power, bubble to the 5th power, bubble to the 3rd power, bubble to the 4th power. And when I say bubble, we know we're just leaving an empty set of parentheses. Wherever there is an x, I need to fill in a 4. Here's an x, so that's a 4. Here's an x, so that's a 4. And every place I see a y, I'm supposed to be filling in a 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2. So these are expressions now that I can evaluate. I'd be able to give you an answer, or I'd at least be able to show you what this means. What does this mean? It means 4 times 4 times 4. And that is a problem I would like you to come up with a numerical answer for. So please finish that problem in your notes. And this means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. And this is another one that I would like you to go ahead and come up with a final answer for. Now this has a decimal in it. That doesn't mean it's any more difficult. It just means that we need to do 0.2 times 0.2. And I believe you can come up with an answer for that as well. Please finish that in your notes. And this means 0.2 times 0.2 times 0.2. I think I'm going to run out of room. Times 0.2. Let's go. Oh, I can fit one more in right here. Times 0.2. I'm not going to ask you to find an answer to this one. I just want you to understand what it means. 0.2 times itself a total of 5 times. Now this is really interesting because this is where s to the second power, you sometimes might hear we would read that is s squared. Or if we had 5 to the second power, that we would call that 5 squared. And if you've ever wondered why we say the second power is squared, this is the reason why. Here is a square. If this side is 5 centimeters, then this side is also 5 centimeters. So is this side. So is this side. But in order to find the area of a square, I just need to know the two sides, because we usually do base times height. Well, in this case, that's going to be 5 times 5, which is 25. Another way to think of it is 5 to the second power. The area will be 25 centimeters squared, centimeters to the second power. That's true for all squares. You take one side and you take it to the second power or square it. And the same thing is true for things that go to the third power. You might hear this as s cubed. Or if we had the number 3 to the third power, that we could call this 3 cubed. And again, you might have wondered, why do we say that the third power is cubed? And this is the reason. When we're talking about volume, I need to know the height and the length, and I need to know the width. And on a cube, all of those dimensions are the same because a cube is the same on all of its sides. So if I was trying to find the volume of this cube, I would end up doing 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5, 125 centimeters to the third power. And the formula is right here. You take whatever the side is, and you take it to the third power because all the sides would be the same. There's a website here with an awesome game, tinyurl.com/carnes_exp, which stands for exponents. You choose a pitching speed, and the questions come pretty fast if you choose that high speed, and you'll answer questions about exponents.